Monday, June the 5th, about 7:30 in the morning. Temperature right now is about 12 degrees, so it's cool, but it's going to warm up quite a bit later. I've decided to start moving some of the fish from indoors outdoors to the outdoor pond, and the first one that I caught in my indoor pond is this Ochiba, I believe a female. Now this one, unfortunately, I don't have an earlier picture of. I actually purchased as a Beni Kumaru, and the colors changed in a matter of months to turn it into an Ochiba. So it's been doing very well down here. I do apologize if there's a bit of glare on the water. I'm trying to do this now so that we don't have too much sun. So I'm just going to get it for a quick measure up here. See at 15 inches, so it is almost put on about half its size again in the time I've had it in the house. It certainly seems to be a nice fish, a nice pattern to it. And again, that's not what I was expecting at all, but I'm very happy with it. It is a Deutz Ochiba, as you can see here. Some nice markings on the fins, nice coloration, a little bit of a mask face. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get it into the pond now, rather than keeping it in the measuring tub here, and then I will go down and get another fish and bring it up. I'm hoping to get 3 or 4 into the pond today to get the filters up and running as far as the bacteria load is concerned. I did throw in a pond bomb from Evolution Aqua last night into my biochamber. So that has started to get the water prepared and the bacteria prepared in the filter. So on that note, I'm just going to pause things for a moment. I will go and actually let me just move the camera a little bit closer here if I can, just a bit better look at the fish. And again, I do apologize for a bit of the glare, but it is a very nice looking fish, and as I said, I think female based on the body shape. I'm going to move it into the other pond and then go down and bring out another fish. So I'll be back with you in a few moments. This is my Kikukuru that you had seen in a previous video that I had shared with you when I first purchased the koi and brought it home. This is from a gentleman that was closing down his pond, as I mentioned in that video. It has definitely put on some size since I brought it home. I will get a measure up of it in just a moment here and get you a bit better view of it. Now I did notice just now when I was catching it to bring it out to the pond, it does have a little sore on the top of the dorsal fin. I don't think that's anything to be concerned with. It should do much better, of course, once it's in the outdoor pond. The warmer weather and sunshine, etc. will make a big difference to it. So I'm going to get it now, try and get a bit better shot for you, and I will do a measure up of this one as well, and then get it into the big pond. Let me just try and get her over here. See what size we're dealing with here. So she is 20 inches. So she has done very well, and as I said, it's put on some size. The black has faded slightly indoors, but I'm sure it's going to improve once it's been outside in the pond for a while. And again, I do apologize for the bit of glare on the water here. I'm trying to do this before we get too much sun or anything today, which definitely, as you all know, can kind of mess up the videoing with the glare on the water. And I don't have a polarizing lens for this camera. At least it gives you a bit of a shot here of her. Very nice looking fish, doing really well. So I'm going to get her again into the sock net and into the main pond, and I'll be back with you shortly. This is my Deutz Karashigoi I've had for a number of years now. Beautiful pale yellow color. Just these sort of zipper roll scales along the dorsal fin. Nothing else on it marking wise. It does look a tad veiny at the moment, just from bringing it from the basement pond up to the measuring tank here. So I'm not going to keep it in here too long. I will do a quick measure up, let you get a little bit better view of it. And then I think that's going to be it for today as far as moving the fish out. I know it's only going to be 3 of them in the pond, but that will start to help feed the bacteria that's in there as well. and then in the next 3 or 4 days, probably around Thursday of this week, I will bring some more of the fish out and get them into the pond. It's supposed to be a nice week weather-wise, so I want to try and get them out here, at least half of them this week and the remainder next week. So I'm just going to swing them around, get a measure up that you can hopefully see here. So if you bear with me for a moment. And this one is 24 inches long. So it has grown well over the years. It was, I think, about 8 or 9 inches when I got it a number of years back. It has grown very well. It didn't get quite as large as I was hoping. A lot of the Karashi Koi can be very large fish, similar to the chogs, the ochibas, suragois, etc. It's grown beautifully, but just not quite to the extent I was hoping, but it's still a lovely fish. So on that note, as I said, I'm going to put the camera down for a moment here, and we'll get this one moved into the pond, and then I'll take the camera over and just let you see the pond very briefly. So I will be back in a moment. Now, unfortunately, as you can see, the water is still quite green. As I said, I just put the pond bomb in yesterday. The UV was the issue I was having about a week ago, and I had to sort of redo the plumbing to get that fitting into place. I have now done that, so it's running. I did turn it off overnight after putting the pond bomb in, but I'm going to put it back on a little bit later on. And I will just show you the UV unit. So that's it there, mounted right above that one line into the pond. Has its own separate control to direct water either through the UV or through the line itself to bypass UV. I have a second identical UV that I'm going to be installing in the next day or two. I had to pick up a couple of parts yesterday for it, and I have those now, so I want to get it plumbed in a similar fashion to this one here. The moving bed is doing well. The upflow filters I cleaned a few moments ago, so they're doing a great job of collecting debris. And my shower, you can see that there, is spraying very nicely. Hopefully it's doing the job it's intended to do. It did come together really well, actually. I was, not quite sure, how that was going to work out for me, but it has a great flow on it. I have a separate pump coming through that line at the back there that's just over the moving bed, which feeds the upflow then into the shower. And then the other two lines from another pump in the pump chamber are the ones that come up and go into the pond over here. So the only thing left to do at the moment out here for this morning is I'm going to plug in my electric fence to protect the fish now that they're outside. And I'm also going to drain some water out of the pond and pump some of the water from the pond in the basement out here, just to kind of freshen it up a little bit and help dilute a little bit of this algae. But once I get the UV running again and the second UV installed, that should clear it up pretty quickly. The canopy that goes on the top here was back ordered when I spoke to the company about 2 weeks ago. I'm going to contact them again today and see if I can get one delivered so I can get that up there and give this some more protection from the sun as well. So I'm going to just end things at this part of the video for the moment. And as I said, I will, a few things to do just to get a bit of water exchanged out here to get the koi downstairs kind of settled again, get the net out of the water so they're not too freaked out by it. And hopefully the 3 that I just put in, once they get a little more comfortable being out here, will be up and visible. And I will bring that to you as soon as I can have them up swimming around. So thank you for watching up to this point, and I will be back with some additions to the video very shortly. It is Tuesday, June 13th, approximately 11:30 in the morning. A lovely day here. We had rain pretty much for the past 24 hours. It has finally cleared up now, which is nice. I'm moving some more fish out. This one, as you can see, is my Kuchibene Taisho Sankei, and she is probably my most expensive koi I have in my collection at the moment. She's grown substantially since I purchased her roughly six and a half years ago. She's more than doubled, if not more, her size. So she's done very, very well. She's going to be going into the pond with the others in a few moments. I'm going to do a quick measure up of her here, and I will get her in the pond, and then I'm going to go and try and get some more out here. So bear with me for a moment while I get her in front of the measuring grid. She's coming in at 23 inches. So all in all, not bad. As I said, she has, doubled her size, probably a bit more in the time that I've had her. So I'm going to just pause the camera here, get her into the outdoor pond, and I'm going to go and bring some more fish from downstairs outside. Okay, and another one of the small ones. This one was purchased about a year and a bit ago. Was just a dark color one. Wasn't quite sure exactly what it was going to be. It is a Deutz variety, as hopefully you can see on the camera here. It has actually turned out to be a Ochiba, a Deutz Ochiba, and it has more than almost quadrupled in size since I got it, so it's doing very well. Again, not the most colorful fish by any means. Based on body shape, I'm pretty certain it is a male. You may notice that it moves around a little bit. There are a couple of white bands on the tail, top and bottom of the tail itself. That is just strictly the coloring. It's not carp pox or anything like that. So I'm going to do a quick measure up of this one, and we'll get it in the pond with the others. So again, just bear with me for a moment. Okay, so we're looking at 16 inches for this one. So I'm going to get him into the pond, and then I will pause the camera and come back with another fish in just a few moments. And here we have my Surigoi. This is definitely one of the largest koi in my collection. I've had it for quite a number of years now. I'm guessing the age is somewhere around the 15, 16 years, something like that. Beautiful fish. You can see the Ginrin on it as well. It was only a Nisai when I purchased it, so it's growing very, very well over the years. And again, I would do a quick measurement. I don't like stressing them out too long in the measuring tank here. So bear with me again while I do that. Then I'll pause the camera and get the fish into the pond. Okay, and this one is coming in at about 25 and a bit inches. So it hasn't grown too much since last year. I think it's pretty much at the end of its kind of growth based on age and pond size, etc. But it is a lovely fish. Like I say, just very, very impressed with how it's developed over the years. So on that note, actually, I'm going to pause the camera again, get her in the pond, him in the pond, and be back with you with another fish shortly. And this is my big Ochiba female, the one, if I'm not mistaken, that Lo seems to admire the most out of my collection. Beautiful girl. She is turning 23 this year. Again, she was a Nisai when I purchased her, so I've had her for a long time now, Absolutely adorable fish. Very, very friendly. Will come up, feed from your hands, chew on your fingers. Just very, very friendly fish. Certainly the friendliest one in the pond. I don't think she's grown much since last year. I'm going to do a quick measure up now and get her into the pond. She does get stressed. She did bleed from the gills a little bit when I was bringing her out, so I don't want to keep her confined here for too long. So bear with me while I do a measure up, and I will be right back with you. Okay, she is 24 inches long, and I just realized as I was doing the measure up, you can maybe see it on the side of the gill here. She does have a little cut on her gill plate. Not quite sure how she managed to get that indoors. It is a little inflamed, but overall it's not looking too bad. I think it's actually kind of on the mend already. So I'm going to keep a very close eye on her when she is in the outdoor pond here, and I can take her in if need be to do treatments, and we'll leave her indoors for recovery if absolutely necessary. So she will be much happier in there. I know she's going to do better in the outdoor pond. Like I said, beautiful fish, and I will certainly keep an eye on that cut on her gill plate. Back again with you shortly. And this is my little Haiyut Suri, the one that I purchased earlier this year. You'll recall I put out the little video when I got it, just kind of saying it was purchased kind of as a reminder of mystery that I had at the end of last year and went through trying to get it to recover from all the various ulcers and so on that it had when I got it. As many of you know, of course, it didn't make it. So this one, like I said, kind of piqued my interest when I saw it. I know it is definitely a very poor example of a Haiyut Suri. It is nonetheless, a nice little fish, and I'm happy with it. I think it has grown a bit since I got it. So I'm going to put it into the pond with the big ones once I do a quick measure up on it here, and let's see how it does over the summer out with the other fish. And I think what I'm going to do is, everybody I know downstairs in the indoor pond getting a bit stressed with the net in there trying to catch them. So I'm going to call it quits for now. It's around 12 o'clock. So I'm going to give everybody a break. I'll get this one in the pond and let it kind of settle in with the others. And then depending on plans that may pop up this afternoon, I may or may not bring the others out. If not, they will probably come out tomorrow morning, and I'll do some more videos then. So I'm just going to do a quick measure up here and get it in the pond. So bear with me for a second. It is a bit skittish still. It does like hanging out with the others. So let me just, again, hold on and bear with me for a moment if you will. Let's see here. Okay, so coming in at 12 inches, so not too bad. Let's put on a little bit of size since I first brought it home. I think roughly an inch and a half or 2 inches approximately. So I'm going to put it in the pond now and let it kind of adapt with the others. And as I say, take a break of the ones that are downstairs and let them settle. Okay, and I'm just going to end things here for the moment, and as I said, I will either bring some more out this afternoon, and we'll do a video of them as well, or alternatively, depending on how the afternoon shapes up, maybe bring them out tomorrow. So thank you again for watching, and I will be updating Alright, it is now the morning of June 16th, approximately 8:30 in the morning. I'm just going to bring the remaining koi out and get them into the pond. The others have done very well overnight. I will show you those a little bit later on in the video. This one, another female, I think was originally or is a kuman-roo, and she has just lost all of her white color. I seem to have an issue with the kuman-roos when it comes to the white patterns on the fish. They start off remarkably well and then they lose that coloration over time. I don't mind. I really like the fish. It's growing very, very well. And apart from the color, which may or may not come back, I have to wait and see. The fish is growing very well. She's a really good size. So I'm going to just move her over to the scale to get a measurement here. And then I'll get her in the pond with the other fish. And then I will go and bring out another one. So bear with me for a moment while I do the measure up here. And then I will get her moved. I'm just going to swing her around over to the scale. Stay still for a moment here. So she's coming in at 22 inches. And you can see there, it looks like she's going to pull the scale a little bit. Nothing serious on her at all. Is doing well. Very healthy, very chunky fish, as you can see. So I'm going to get her moved now into the pond, and then I have 3 more indoors to come out. I will go down and get the next one in just a moment. This is my female butterfly kuman-roo. I've had her for a number of years. Again, she had a very nice pattern on her when I first got her, and the white, as you can see, has clearly disappeared. Still some white on the tail, the dorsal, and the pec fins, and the anal fin as well. She has done very, very well, and is a good size, one of the biggest ones in the pond here. So I'm going to do a quick measure up and get her in. I do apologize for the bit of foam on the water. She wasn't happy being brought out here, so a little bit of that is just from her flipping around in the sock net. So I'm going to do a measure up now and then get her in the pond, and then go down and bring out another fish. So let me see how large she is. Okay, I'm not sure if you could have seen that or not. She is 26 inches, is doing very, very well. Nice full body on her, and I do apologize for the glare. It is overcast, but I'm trying to get things done before the sun really comes out to make it impossible to video the fish here. So just get her to move over a little bit. There you go. You can see that she's a good sized fish. So I'm going to just pause the video here and get her into the pond and go down and bring out another fish. And this one is my Matsukau Bake male. Had him for quite a number of years as well. Again, was a spectacular looking fish with the white pattern on it when I first got it, and has since lost the white, all with the exception of that little bit on the left pectoral fin there. Still doing very, very well. A little hard to see in the pond, especially in low light, but is nonetheless a lovely fish. Does have a bit of ginrin on the scales, which shows out certainly much better in the sunlight than it does now with it being a bit overcast. Again, a lovely fish, and I'm going to do, as I have done with the others, going to do a measure up, get it into the pond, and that just leaves 2 more in the house to bring out. So I'm going to do that measure up now, and I will get the fish in the pond, and we'll bring the others up. So bear with me again for a moment, if you would. one is coming in approximately 21 inches. Definitely was not happy being caught in the indoor pond and into the sock net. You can't see it, and I'm not going to turn the camera around to show it because you've all seen wet clothes before. But my shirt and my pants are soaked primarily from bringing out the butterfly Kuman-Roo and this one here. So I'm going to get this one as an in pond, and then I have two more to bring out. My male Ochiba butterfly and my big Ginrin female Chagoi. So I'm going to go get those in a moment and get this one back into the pond with its... This is the Deutz Ochiba butterfly male that I mentioned a moment ago in the video. If you recall, earlier in the video I did show you my Deutz Ochiba female, regular fin, not a long fin, and this one and that one are both turning 23 this year. And again, I mentioned that they were Nisei when I got them. They have grown tremendously, as you can see. This is an amazing fish. I know there's a lot of folks out there, the purists, that definitely do not like the butterfly or longfin koi. I was just really taken by the pattern on this one and the finnage and everything when I got it, and it's turned out to be spectacular. So those of you who are not aficionados of the butterfly koi, kind of bear with me here, but you can see the beauty of the rest of the fish. So I'm going to do a measure up on this one and then get it in the pond with the rest of them. So bear with me once again. I'll get the fish turned around, do that measure up, and then I will go down and get the remaining koi and get her out here into the main pond for the summer. A little hard to get it to hold still, but it's coming in at approximately 27 inches in length, which I believe is the same as it was last year. Again, a beautiful fish, lovely pattern. The colors on it will definitely darken while it's outside here. The copper color goes quite deep, and almost a chocolatey brown color, and the gray goes to a darker gray color. So it looks almost like a totally different fish when it is in the main pond and as the water temperature rises during the summer months. So I said I'm going to get him out of the bowl here, or out of the tank, into the main pond, and then I will go and bring out the final koi. This is the remaining koi that was in the pond in the basement, and I do apologize for the condition of the water. She does tend to bleed every time I move her like this. You can see the little flecks or little bits of blood floating on the surface there, and the water's getting a bit discolored as well. She is definitely, I think, my largest koi. Beautiful Ginrin female chag. Just a wonderful fish. And I apologize if I sound a little bit out of breath. I'm not getting any younger. She's getting heavier, and just getting her out of the downstairs pond, up the stairs and out here after moving the others is a little bit tiring. So I'm going to do a quick measure up, get her in the pond, and then I'm going to go and take a break and grab a coffee. So I will get her in there, and then we'll add a little bit to the video of the koi all in the main pond just to close things off. So bear with me while I do the measure up here. Okay, she's coming in at 26 inches, and as you can see, hopefully you can see the video here, she's a big girl. I can't even get my hands around her midsection there. She is just so huge. definitely one of my prize fish. And again, unfortunately, she does bleed from the gills when I move her. That does stop very, very quickly, but I'm going to get her now because she is quite stressed. I'm going to get into the main pond, and as I said, I will follow up in just a little bit in the video with an update on how everybody's doing in the pond. So thank you for hanging in there till this point, and more information will be coming. It is now Wednesday afternoon at about 4 o'clock, and the fish all seem to have settled in well into the outdoor pond here. I just tossed in a few mealworms for them to kind of munch on. So as you can see, some of them are coming up already to get them. Everybody seems to be doing fine. I know the water is a little murky at the moment. I think that's with them kind of swimming around, stirring things up a little bit. That will clear. I'm going to do the upflow filters and easy pods, give them a clean in just a few moments. But I just want to come out and check and see how the fish are doing. And as you can see there, everybody seems to be enjoying the mealworms, coming up to get something to eat. So they're all doing quite well. And I'm very happy to say that my big chag here has fully recovered from her ordeal this morning coming out from the indoor pond, as has everybody else. They're looking really, really well. And while I am out here, I'm just going to give you a quick overview again of the filter pit, show you what I have done. The UV units that I had mentioned previously are now in place. You can see the two of them in there, one right above the other. They are each operated independently by the valves. The white one there does the lower UV unit. The blue one here is doing the upper unit. So they're operating fully independently of each other and can be controlled directly. Right now the water's flowing through both of the UV units. They are on, although it's difficult to see the little markers at the moment that show that. Moving bed is working well. Sump chamber is working well. What I did was make a slight modification to the line that's feeding the outflow and the showers. Still going into the pump chamber there, but the pump itself is now being fed through an offshoot directly to the bottom drain coming in from the main line underneath there. So that has provided better flow through the upflow and the shower, and has also allowed me to get better flow going through the two UV units and the main returns to the pond. So I say they're all doing very well right now. Fish are, quite happy to be up here and seem to be enjoying things, as you can see. The float valve over here that I installed last year has worked very, very well, and things are coming along nicely. The water is clearing. I say that return there and the one on the far side are the ones from the shower, so that's doing very, very well also. So everybody seems to be doing okay. The electric fence around the pond here is on. I'm not going to touch it to show you the result. It is very uncomfortable. I've touched it by accident on a number of occasions, and it is definitely not a comfortable feeling. But I did just want to give a quick update to show you how everybody in the pond is faring after their move from downstairs out here. So the only fish remaining in the indoor pond now are the two sturgeon. They will stay there for the summer. I know they would do very well out here, but they would be just a nightmare to try and catch at the end of the season. And again, I'm just concerned from a food standpoint for them, as I had them out a few years ago, and they did lose a bit of weight based on the voraciousness of the koi when it comes to feeding. So they are better off downstairs. Now they have the 2,000 gallons to themselves, and everybody else out here is having a good time. So I still have a couple of things in mind that I want to do with the pond. It's been raining on and off all afternoon. It's kind of gotten very gray, as you can see. It's spitting a little bit now. I think we're due for a little bit more rain again tomorrow. But that's not going to be an issue because the koi, of course, love it. I am going to be working on getting my covering up here as soon as I can source one. Hopefully I can get something rigged up in the meantime fairly soon to minimize any issues with sun or anything like that for the fish. But they are all doing very, very well. And I think on that note, what I'm going to do is going to end the video here. Thank you again for watching. If you haven't already done so, please hit that like and subscribe buttons. If you have any questions for me, or would like to know any more about the pond and how I have things set up, please let me know in the comments. And again, thank you for watching. Thank those of you who have already subscribed for your support. And I will bring more updates to you throughout the summer season to let you know how these guys are doing. And as I said, I do have a couple of things in mind for the pond, just to help boost things for the koi in here a little bit. One of which is an auto feeder that I will be installing in fairly short order. I do have it, and I'm just going to just work on the programming and so on so I can get it out here for the fish. And then I have another item that I'm going to be putting on. I'm not going to mention it yet. It's still a maybe yes, maybe no kind of thing, so I'll let you know about that one once I make my decision as well. So thanks again. Take care, everybody. Stay safe. And hope you are all enjoying your koi during the summer, regardless of where you are. Thank you. And again, if you haven't already done so, please hit that like and subscribe button. Feel free to leave your comments below. And